This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning to all of you out there. Welcome to another edition of 757 Saturday Sports Talk. It's our first for February 2025, and we're glad you are with us, along with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Good morning, Sir Edward. How are you?
Good morning. Good. Ready to roll. Let's get it done.
Well, as you just saw, Ed Young, I guess Kim Mulkey, she's been watching you too much, slapping clipboards out of people's hands, and I guess she's got to settle down a little bit. Her team did prevail against Oklahoma the other night, but we've got a lot this morning to do with all of you the week before the Super Bowl. As always, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel on CoVA Sports TV, where you can interact with us. We're also streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, as they call it, Instagram, Apple, Spotify, all those good things. We've got a special guest joining us in about 15 minutes, I think it is or so. Jay Grimes, he is the head basketball coach of the surging Denbigh Patriots, who got themselves a nice win over the Hampton Crabbers, defending Class 4 state champs, just the other night, Ed. In fact, that snapped, I'm not sure if you know this or not, that snapped a long streak. They had lost 16 in a row to Hampton in the head-to-head series. So first time that they prevailed over the Crabbers since they won 54-53. I want to say it was back in like 2015, a long time ago, long time ago. So kudos to Coach Grimes. He'll come on with us. We'll also be doing some clips from some high school hoops games that you and I took in this week. A mix of private schools, Southeastern District, Bay Rivers District. We'll play take your pick later on in the show. A lot happening, and college basketball revved up as we've turned the calendar from January to February. We turn it to March next month. You know what that means? The madness.
Yes, the madness, which has actually begun, will get ramped up. That's college basketball, which really doesn't take center stage until football is pretty much over, with the Super Bowl coming up this week from tomorrow. That'll end football, and then it'll put more emphasis on the basketball world.
Football never ends. Hold on. Football never ends. It never, ever, ever ends.
Well, in terms of games, the Super Bowl is it. The talk will go on throughout the offseason, of course, especially NFL with a lot of coaching changes, whatever. What do we have here? Good morning. Oh, Keith. Keith is back. Keith is back again, second week in a row. Good job, Keith. And we're going to need to know.
That's the next objective, is to get him.
We're going to need to know Keith's Super Bowl pick, either now or next Saturday. You don't have to give it now if you don't want. Get a little bit more information on who's going to do whatever. And Keith's got a big basketball game tonight. Keith, I didn't know you were still playing. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Well, he says we got a big basketball game tonight, 8:00. So,
well, I think he's referencing the one in Richmond, perhaps Woodside and John Marshall up at the Henrico Sports and Events Center, which people all across the country will try to get to if they can get a ticket, if they have enough shekels in their pockets, which remains to be seen. But that would be a packed house
ticket. That's a very expensive ticket. Anybody
it is
hoping to go, make sure you do the ticket before, because if not, don't pull out $10 at the door and think you're getting in, because it's a little bit more than $10. So
it is.
Just keep that in mind. But yep. We got, and speaking of March Madness, a game today that will bring thoughts of that is Duke, North Carolina. Wait. Duke, North Carolina.
Who cares about that? We got the Royal Rivalry Challenge today, presented by our friends at Town Bank, which also sponsored the show. That's why I can say our friends at Town Bank. The Town Bank Royal Rivalry today. The ODU women hosting James Madison, 2:00 at Stratway Arena, and the ODU men visiting James Madison, 4:00 in Harrisonburg. We'll see if the Monarchs can get it done.
That is the big one statewide.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, there's also a big one with John Calipari returning to Lexington, where he will get greeted with booze, not cheers, booze. I don't care what Rick Pitino, your good friend and buddy, who you picked last week in your parlay to win the national championship. I don't know why you did. By the way, speaking of which, I'm already out. Thanks a lot, officials. Thanks a lot. You screwed the Buffalo Bills. You screwed me. You know you screwed us. You screwed us. Not me, not you. They screwed us. They screwed America because now we have to watch Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and these Chiefs. Godforsaken Kansas City Chiefs. I'm tired of them. I've got Chiefs fatigue. I'm worn out. I'm happy for Derek Nottie. He of Ocean Lakes High School in Virginia Beach going for another ring. He's going to have, if he keeps this up and he keeps playing for them, he'll have as many rings as Darnell Dozier does at Princess Anne. Start putting him on his toes soon. But my gracious. It's just a coincidence, Ed. It's just a coincidence now what the Chiefs have had fewer penalties than their opponent. Like, 12 straight games? Come on.
Let me just say this to you, fatiguers of Chief stuff and whatever. I'm not a Kansas City fan at all. I used to hate them because of the rivalry with the Raiders, which is no longer a rivalry because Kansas City dominates. But so I could say this being impartial. All you Chief haters and fatiguers, catch a hold of yourself. The Chiefs are very good on the precipice of greatness in NFL football. And I don't understand why we hate it. I do kind of understand it. Being a Yankee fan, I understand it because the Yankees are the greatest baseball team in the history of program in the history of Major League Baseball because 20
your opinion.
Titles.
How were they this fall against the Dodgers? But
everybody wants to see them lose because most people can't get to that height. Now we're doing the same thing. The Taylor Swift part of it, I understand, but that has nothing to do with the Chiefs. That's NFL football. And NFL football says we're going to show Taylor Swift as much as possible because there's a lot of the Swifties, which I'm not one, out there who will tune in to games only to see Taylor Swift. They don't care about the football game. And as a friend of mine said, and I also heard this from some reports on the internet, if you go to a Taylor Swift concert, which I would have no desire to go, especially at those ticket prices, she's tremendous, but she's not my music. Everybody's wearing something Kansas City Chiefs, the Kelce jerseys, whatever. And I don't mean just throwing a jersey on. It's done up with the sequins on it and whatever, dolled up by the women. That's merchandise bought. NFL knows that. So that's why you may have Taylor Swift fatigue, but that's not going to change. But as far as hating the Chiefs because the officials cheat for them, there are controversial calls I've seen that went for the Chiefs' favor. But I've also seen in many games this year calls go for other teams too. They just don't get to this level. So let's just put that to rest. Enjoy what should be, hopefully, a good game, which I really don't care what team wins. I kind of root for Kansas City, but I wouldn't mind if Philly won. So I can be impartial as can be. So that's what I'm going to say to all the Kansas City haters and this crazy statement of Chief fatigue. Come on, man. Just go ahead and get some doggone sleep. You got your own fatigue. You ain't got Chief fatigue. Okay, I did my rant for the day in a calm manner, too.
America feels like I do. Most of America. We wanted the Lions and Bills, and we were deprived of what we wanted and needed and so badly desired. And instead, we're stuck with KC and Philly. And you know what? Sorry, I'm going to anger the Philadelphia fans. I can't root for them. Now, I'll be happy for Josh Sweat. He of Oscar Smith High if he gets a Super Bowl ring because he was so close a couple years ago. And he is a big factor along with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and that pass rush that is ferocious for Philly, which could impact the game if they don't call flags on the Eagles. If you breathe on Patrick Mahomes, it'll be a personal foul. So, Josh, be careful when you sack him. Be careful. Extra careful. By the way, he has tuned into the show before. We've interviewed him before. He was at the Plex couple of summers ago with his dodgeball event. But be extra careful, cautious as you chase and pressure and harass Patrick Mahomes. Because remember, they threw the flag on that pass that Josh Allen tried to complete to Dalton Kincaid, and all of a sudden they picked it up. Had Kincaid caught it, there would have been some phantom holding call. You know it, I know it, and the rest of the US of A knows it.
Like I said, y'all need to get over it. And let's just hope for a great game. That's all.
Yeah, a lot of people felt like Derek did. They wanted a Commanders-Ravens. But you know what? Both of those futures are still very, very bright. Jayden Daniels is just a rookie. They're going to get better and better. Now, there's no guarantee you're getting back to the NFC Championship game. And the Ravens, while Lamar Jackson and company have been so close, he's still in the prime of his career. Problem for Lamar and Josh and Joe Burrow is you still got Patrick Mahomes and KC right in the way. Keita thinks it'll be a great game. So does Ed. What do you think? Let us know your early thoughts on the Super Bowl. It is 8 days away. Will you be more into the halftime show, the parties? What will you be into? Let us know, because a lot of folks will not be into it as much as they ordinarily like me. I'll be halfway into it. Maybe by kickoff time, I'll be more into it, but this game does not move me. Because we just saw it 2 years ago. It doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm being honest. It is not a Super Bowl that I'm going, oh my gracious. Wanted to see badly either the Bills or Lions get in. Actually, I want to see the Cardinals get in, but that wasn't going to happen. So just like you're not going to see your Raiders get in anytime soon. So
no, the Raiders will it'll take a while for the Raiders to get to the playoffs, let alone the doggone Super Bowl. So I understand. And my Steelers would be much closer, but it's going to be a while for them too. So I have to enjoy it. As I said, I'll definitely watch it because I like the two. I don't hate either team. I'm not a big rooter for either one, but I'll watch the game because I'm hoping it's going to be a great game. And, everybody else gets caught up in the halftime shows and this extra week of festivities. To be honest, I wish the Super Bowl was played tomorrow, the week right after. But I know the NFL has to blow it up.
You got to have that great money. Pro Bowl. I know you were into the Pro Bowl activities, right?
No. Now that will get me on a rant I'll have to do a couple beeps. Just get rid of the Pro Bowl stuff altogether. If you can't have a regular game like they used to, I don't mind the little events they have, the little competitions. That's kind of neat to see. But why we don't have, and I already know why we don't have a game. The players are not taking it serious. They're patting each other, whatever. We got a flag football game, today or tomorrow? Pro Bowl flag football. Come on, man. Just, name your all pros. NFL, name your all pros. And then try to find 50 players that really want to play in a all-star game. Hopefully they're all-star caliber type players who are going to play a real game, tackle, whatever, like it was back in the day. And then let's play that game. But that's never going to happen. And I'm also getting a little perturbed with the NBA, with their shenanigans about NBA All-Star Weekend. I just found out the other day there's going to be 4 NBA All-Star teams now. It's like a little mini tournament, if I heard that right.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
And they do a draft if they selected the All-Stars. And I know you were upset that Devin Booker got snubbed, like some people out there are. Yeah, I think this is too much fantasy basketball, fantasy sports drafting is what it is, basically.
The problem is the NBA played their All-Star game, but the players don't take it as serious because last year was 200 to 200 something. That's ridiculous because they don't really play no defense. Everybody just want to show. So that's kind of ruined that game too. Again, go find me 20 guys that really want to play, that play a real game and go at it hard. And put that as the All-Star game. I like the slam dunk, the hot shot, the 3-point contest, those little competitions. I like those. Put those in there too. Great for the kids to see. But instead of fixing the game, they added games. I don't know how that's going to make it any better. I just, baseball still does it right. Those guys do play the Major League All-Star game and middle of the season, and they do play the game itself, but it's a little different. Baseball doesn't have the physical contact that football does, obviously, and a little bit of basketball or the physical demand. So I can see why baseball players would probably play it, be happy to be there and actually play the game, actually try to hit it, try to catch it, field it, and all that. But football is a total joke. Basketball is just about there. And hockey, I think they fairly well play it. But from what I understand, not a lot of defense, but they do play out on the ice.
They do play on the ice. That's correct. They don't play in grass. They don't play on hardwood.
And that's surprising. They don't do
for hockey. They don't play off the ice. I'm glad you figured that out. That took you a long time to get that one figured out. It is played on ice. Yes.
That's what I was saying. They still play the game instead of come up with these shenanigan type situations to draw interest to the game itself. So
John Huffman weighing in that Super Bowl parties were great for finding future dates. Marriage into that for me. Well, that's why Ed's going to go to his party to find that lucky lady out there.
That's a good one. Well, John, if you still find dates and you're married, it's also a good way to end your marriage. So I guess it's different perspective in terms of looking at it. So be careful. I haven't been to a Super Bowl party I think the last time the Raiders were in the Super Bowl.
Wow, it's been that long. So we're talking, what is that, 23 years, 22 years? I was
going to say that's when I was probably a kid.
It had been 22 because it was the year after. Let's see, hold on. That was Gruden. Gruden beat his old team. Is that Super Bowl 37, was it?
Wow, that's a long time.
I think it was 37 because 34 was the Rams over Titans. 35 was that Ravens over. You got me looking this up, and I shouldn't have to look this up. I should know this off the top of my head. I'm getting old. I don't remember these things as much as I used to. 34 was Rams over Titans, the infamous stretch across the goal line for Kevin Dyson, couldn't get there, and Mike Jones made the tackle. That was 34. The 2 years later was the Rams lost to the Patriots, 36. So that would have been Super Bowl 37 would have been the Bucks and Raiders 2003. Dexter Jackson was your MVP to safety, 48-21. There you go. That's the last time you went to Super Bowl. Wow.
Now, if there's some people out there having a Super Bowl party, and a good one, and they want to invite us, kind of bring the show to the party, we're up for that.
I don't know if you want to invite me. I could just be an angry guy right now. I wanted Bills Lions. I really did. I'll get over it by next Sunday, but I'm still just.
I know Hatfield will be there because the key statement is free food and lots of it.
That's true. That's true.
See, that's going to calm a lot of things real quick. So
we will get back to our main topic for today, which is basketball, high school hoops, college hoops too, because it is a week off from football. We'll have a couple little items on that though, and we got take your pick later. But coming up next, the head basketball coach of the surging Denbigh Patriots. What a job he is doing at the helm of that Newport News School. Jay Grimes will join us. We'll also dig into his background, which is an interesting one. It's coming your way next right here on CoVA Sports TV and 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back in just a moment after this brief commercial break. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Wayne Williams of Williams Deloach. I'm an experienced personal injury attorney, and I hope you don't need my services because I certainly don't like to see people injured on a daily basis. But in preparation for that unfortunate situation, your insurance coverage is very vital to your case. Give me a call today. I'd be happy to discuss your insurance situation for you and your family. That's the most protection you have, and you want to have that ahead of time.
What is more? Is it more reps? More strength, more stamina. We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
Welcome you back to 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to our CoVA Sports TV YouTube channel, wherever you are tuning in, be it IG, X, or Twitter, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, VirginiaPreps.com. We thank you for doing so and interacting with us this morning. We have a special guest with us. Eddie is the head basketball coach of the Denbigh Patriots in Newport News. What a job he is doing. The team 12-4 on this season, coming off a thrilling 53-50 win over the defending Class 4 state champion Hampton Crappers in their gym. 8th straight win for them, and it also ended a 16-game losing streak in the head-to-head series, marking the program's first triumph over the Crabbers since prevailing 54-53 back on December 18th of 2014. We say good morning and congrats on a job well done so far to Jay Grimes. Coach, thanks for joining us. Life's pretty good right now, isn't it?
It is. Thanks for having me. Life has been amazing this past week, and we have quite a few things in store as well ahead of us. So it's been a great time.
Now, I was not at the last game you played against them. Ed was. He watched that game when you played them, lost to Hampton. But tell me what's different about your basketball team from a month ago to now. You've reeled off 8 in a row here in January. You beat the Crabbers that you lost to before. And you have a young group, a nucleus you've been building with here. You were excited about them in the summertime. What's changed and how are you playing so well right now?
So as you guys know, we brought some pieces together that take some time to really mold and to get everybody on the same page. We have Kevin Parker returning from last year, of course, but he's also a football star and doing big things on that level. So he spent some time away from us in the fall as well as summer. So bringing him back together as well as bringing some of our transfers that we got this year, it was a process. And it still is a process. We're still learning each other. We're still filling each other out. We're still making sure we fully understand our roles, and we're growing fast and very quickly. And these guys are buying in. They've always brought in, but they're seeing a more clear vision of what I have and what I want to do with them. So they're really aligning quickly, and you're seeing some of the progress and some of the strides that they're making each day.
And it's funny, Ed, we were talking about this the other day, I think, going to the game we were at last night, Bruton and New Kent. That Parker kid seems to get a new offer in football every other day, it feels like. Someone from the ACC or Big Ten or you name it's offered him because he looks like he's one of those next great PD quarterbacks potentially. And there's been a lot of them, the list of Tyrod Taylor, Taj Boyd, Ronald Curry, Michael Vick, list goes on. And his future could be eventually like those guys.
I'm trying to keep him on the basketball court for as long as I can. That kid is blowing up, and he deserves it. He works his tail off on the field. He works his tail off on the court. So, man, he puts in the work both ways. So either way he wants to go, I'm all for it. But I just want to keep him for as long as I can.
Head coach of the Denbigh Patriots, our guest Jay Grimes, as his team is 12-4, surging 8 straight wins. And I think they're in action today. He'll tell me if I'm wrong, over at Kings Fork against Nansemond River. Is that right, Coach?
Yep, tonight at 6 p.m.
So go check it out in the Battle Lines event over there at Kings Fork in Suffolk. It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on CoVA Sports TV. Ed?
Jay, my man Jay, I tell you, I'm happy for you. I remember playing you when you first took the job at Denbigh. At Nansemond, we talked, and Denbigh was, oh boy, they were just struggling. And I remember you saying to me, Coach, I have a plan. We're going to get there eventually. Did you think, not that you're there yet, I mean, I know there's more things you want to do. It's just that when you come off a major win like you did last night against a tremendous coach, a tremendous program, not just area-wide, but statewide. And I've always said in this business, you can do everything you want, preach, talk, yell, scream, cuss, swear, hug, whatever the kids, win the game, until you beat somebody big time. It really doesn't resonate hard, because I've been in that situation where we beat somebody really good and then boom, took off. But up until that point, it was like, oh my God, will this work? When you took over Denbigh, knowing it was a tough program, and I remember you telling me, you said, Coach, I have a plan. Is that plan, has it come on the timeline you wanted? Or obviously there's more things you want to do. I know you want to get into playoffs. You want to get into states. We all look to do that. But talk about how this has evolved from the time you said to Denbigh, yes, I want to take it right up till last night's victory.
So when I took over the job, of course, like you said, my goal is to bring a state championship to Denbigh, to battle every year as a state contender. That timeline, I think, is a little bit more advanced than I had planned, honestly. I knew it was going to be a task coming to Denbigh, and that's why I chose Denbigh. I wanted to go there. Great administration, great athletic director there, and Marcus Williams that had a vision for the program and what he wanted to do with it, and bringing on a coach like me. And my vision was to get basketball guys and basketball mindset back into Denbigh, and just a pride in Denbigh basketball that had been lost for a little bit. And I envisioned us, making strides this first 2 years, and really by that third year, really stepping on some toes and being able to do some of the things that we're capable of doing this year. So I would say that the timeline is expedited right now, and I think it's just a testament to my players and their buy-in to my program, and to me as a coach. I have some great families that believe in me as a coach, that trust in me, and that give me the freedom I need to instill values in their children, just not on the court, but off the court as well. And they really trust me and allow me to dig into their child and further them. And I really didn't expect it to blossom so quickly, but we have so far to go right now. We did get a statement win in Hampton, and that was the first time that the players were able to really see the amount of work they put in. They had always been hearing about how good they could be. There's a lot of excitement about this season, but honestly, to start the season, we've been struggling, and we still struggle at times. We were in some big games early this season, and I purposely put them on the schedule, some of our non-conference, to give us some early tests in the season. And we played well in spurts, and then in others we didn't. And it kind of really exposed us a lot, but it was everything we needed to start to understand that, hey, what we're trying to put together, it takes everybody being on one page, on one accord, and it's hard. This journey is not for everybody. It's not easy, but it's something that's capable when people put their minds together. And I think my timeline has definitely, like I said, been moved forward. And I think the guys understand that we have a chance, but we only have a chance when we play together and we stay connected and always play with energy and effort. So I would say I'm excited about where we are right now, but I know there is a lot more, a long road ahead of us. Hampton is a great program, and I definitely want to give E his respect. And man, he has those guys over there playing hard and a state championship contender every year. So I understand how the magnitude of that win, and it shocked me as well. And he has a great program, and that's what I aspire to have my program to mirror some of the things that he has been doing.
Yeah, and you guys jumped up to a fast lead in that game, 16-2, just a little more than 7 minutes in. As we're talking with Jay Grimes, head basketball coach of the Denbigh Patriots. I want to jump back in here for a second before I let Ed follow up with you, and I'm sure we'll delve into some other names that have contributed in addition to Kevin Parker for your success to this point. But I got to know, a near and dear friend of ours that we lost years ago, Ben Moore. I know he's a big mentor to you and your development and upbringing. Tell us what he meant to you as a player and getting into coaching from your days at work. And I'm sure that voice is in your head all the time, pregame, postgame, and practice, all those type of things, right?
Yes, indeed. He was everything for my basketball development, and one of the big reasons I got into coaching. He instilled a lot of values in me. It was bigger than basketball for Coach Moore. And as a player, you don't really understand it. You don't get it. It's just, man, this is what a coach is supposed to do. I guess you feel it, but you don't really understand it. And as I got older, I realized, man, things that Coach Moore would do, he would give the shirt off his back. He would take food from his house just to make sure you were good. And those things, man, it changed my life. He gave me a chance. He gave me a chance when I was playing. He gave me a chance also when I came back to the area, and I was getting back into the school system. And he was the first person that called me like, "Hey, I need you on my staff." And since then, I never thought about really coaching and getting back into it. And he showed me the way, and I've been learning from him since high school. And once I got on staff with him, he even showed me more. And he is the ultimate people person, and most caring, loving being that has really helped me get to this point, and to understand how to build a program, not just be a head coach.
Pretty well said there, Ed.
Well, Jay, I want to back up here since we're talking about with Lake Ben Moore and you coming back. Let's do this. We normally do this with some of our guys that we talk to the first time. Let's go with your history, where you played high school, college, and then each of your coaching steps right up till you take the job at Denbigh.
So I went to Wark High School. I played basketball all 4 years. I played varsity as a freshman, so 03 through 07 under Coach Moore. Following that, I decided to go to Virginia Tech, not to play basketball, but to do academics, and had a great 4 years there, graduated 2011. Then I actually went into accounting. I was an accounting major, did Big Four accounting, worked for Ernst & Young for about 2.5, 3 years. And then I decided to come back home. My father, who passed away 4 years ago now, he wasn't doing so well. So I came back to help the family, get some things aligned. And when I came back, that's what I was speaking to earlier. I had an urge to get back in the school system because I like mentoring. I like being around athletes, but also students and young minds, just to help them as they mature and figure out their way in this life. So Coach Moore, first thing, hit me up and said, "Hey, you want to coach?" So I came along with him. I think that was 2016, 17, I want to say, that season. And I was his assistant coach. And I thought it was going to be a whole big staff with him and everything, man. I was his right-hand man. I did everything for him that year. Anything that he needed, I was doing it a couple times. I even had to run a few practices, and I'm looking like, man, what in the world? It's my first year. But he trusted me. He knew I knew his system. He's been running it for years, and he makes some adjustments and changes. But, I mean, I'm a basketball guy, so I pick it up. And he gave me a lot of freedom that year. That following year, I was able to move down to JV and become the JV head coach. And that was the year he also passed away. That was a very tough year, very rough year. Coach Struthers came in and helped out with the varsity job, and I stayed on JV for the next 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. So I did 4 years as JV head coach at Minchville. The last 2 years of that, I went 20-0 both seasons and had 2 undefeated seasons, and really kind of almost started to put my name in some varsity jobs and things of that nature. And then I was able to get the Denbigh interview 2023. And I luckily got that job. And since then, I've been Denbigh head coach and been trying to build this program brick by brick.
And doing a heck of a job at it. As let's get into some of the key guys for you, Coach. In addition to Kevin Parker, tell the audience that there's some of those that have helped you along the way here, some seniors, some juniors, even the underclassmen that have stepped up, and what you're looking for the rest of the way from those guys as you get closer to playoff time in Region 4A.
So we're led by a trio of guards. Kevin Parker, our returning starter, of course. He's Mr. Do-It-All. He'll get down there and get some boards. He'll push in transition. He'll defend at a high level. He's one of the guys that makes us go, but he's also followed by Nasir Johnson and Jaquan Gray, my point guard. They're two guys that I rely on heavily. Nasir for a lot of defensive pressure, intensity, energy, and also ability to finish at the rim and step out and hit some shots as well. Jaquan, he's just a point guard. He makes my show. He runs it. He knows me. He knows what I need. He gives me peace on the sideline, even though you hear me yelling a lot. It's just to correct some small things, but he's the one that keeps it all synchronized for me on the court, and he does a great job at it. That trio of guards really has us rolling and really helps us through a lot of games. But it's followed by front court of Madiak Dang, who came from Hampton Christian. He has a lot of rim protection. Jatari McCray, who came over to us from Bethel. He's a lot of energy, effort. He's just a do-it-all glue guy. Doesn't always ask for the ball or anything, but he'll go find it and he'll make his presence felt constantly. And then I have some reserves that come off the bench that give me a lot of energy, a lot of intangibles. I have Jeremiah Brin, one of my defensive guys. I have Davion Witchard, a little small guy that everybody talks about. Man, the crowd goes wild when he goes in the game. He's my shooter. He's my knockdown guard that can really space the floor for us. And then I have my nephew, Jermaine Grimes Jr. He's a freshman guard that's really trying to put some things together, really working on his craft and really getting to some things as a freshman. I also have Victor George, who returned from last year, 6'4", athletic guy that helps us on the backside on our rotations, a lot of energy and effort out of him as well. I also have a new guy, Ronald Dove, who's a senior this year, first time coming in, stepping in with the program. And man, he has picked up and ran with his role this year. Every game he surprises me. And he's going to be a difference maker down the stretch. I also have Malachi Whitaker, another freshman big. He's learning. He's just eager to learn the game and make his presence felt. And he will be a name you hear in the near future a lot. And then I also brought up one of my guys from JV. He's been on an assignment down there working on his craft, but he's ready for varsity right now. And he comes in and he's ready to play right now. And he's hit some big threes for us and some big moments already this season as he's came up the past few games. He actually hit 3 big threes in Princess Anne in the fourth quarter to help us get through that game. And he's ready to play. His name's Jamal Jones, and people will know where he is on the court.
A lot of weapons there, Ed. A lot of weapons.
Yeah, I think a mark of a good program too, Jay, is you said this earlier about transfers. When parents believe in a coach and guys want to play for a guy that has something together. Now you come in as a first year guy, and you attract some players to come in there, and it's like the college level with the portal and all that. It's important to go get the right players to the mix. In the high school situation, and I throw myself in there, we kind of tell parents that want to bring their kid to our program, okay, that's fine, but you understand nothing is going to be just given to them. They're still going to have to earn it. How, and you mentioned a couple of different guys, how do you look upon that when people come to you and say, we're probably going to be looking to move into your zone. I want my kid to play for you. When I would hear that, my thinking was, my kid's coming to play for you, so he's starting, right? And he's going to be main guy, right? How do you handle that?
That's funny that you said that, because that is usually how parents position themselves and people position themselves. But honestly, I'm open and transparent with them from the start. One, I don't pursue parents. I don't pursue children. I don't pursue players at all. If you're moving in the zone or you have intention of coming here, cool. I'll figure it out when you approach and show me or come to me with that information, and I'll show you what the program looks like. Let you see how we work out and things like that. But I don't make any promises. I don't make any things of that nature. I let the parents know from the start that, hey man, we have a nice little nucleus here. There's always potential for any player that works their tail off and is ready to grind and figure out things and ready to buy into the program. So they, when they meet me, they understand that, hey, I don't come with any promises. I'm not going to fill your head up and let you down. No, I'm going to tell you that, hey, it's about the grind, it's about the work, and we're in here every single day that we can be. So if you want to be a part of that, hey, here we are. But parents understand that from my communication and my transparency.
The other thing, Jake, too, now coming on as a youngster, and you mentioned two key guys, Ben Moore, a friend of mine. I just when I hear the name, boy, I get sad because he's not here. He's not a guy I can pick up the phone, and we did a lot of talking. Sometimes I had nothing to do with basketball. So I miss him greatly. We were very similar in our style. He's one of the first guys that I met when I moved here from Virginia to start coaching to learn the 757. And then you mentioned Lamont Struthers. Lamont was a kid. As a kid, I coached against in Suffolk when I first got here, and one heck of a player. I said, my God, if I got to play coach against guys like this, I might go back to Pennsylvania. These guys are good. And you had those two guys that you work under and learn, and they're very different in terms of their personalities and how they approach things. Very different, very successful. Who are some and at Denbigh? Let's make this clear to a lot of people. When you took over, Denbigh was extremely down. Okay, let's just, for various reasons. But in the past, the name Dennis Katufis, another guy I think I met the day after I met Ben Moore, because them two were two peas in a pod. And again, very different, but just tremendous people. Dennis did a great job, great things at Denbigh. And then Brian Weaver was somebody that took over before he became AD, because I faced Brian when Denbigh was at their heyday. They beat us in a regional playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. Who are some of the other guys that you kind of take some things from? Because we all do it in the business. We all take it from people and try to mix it up and come up with our own philosophy. Who are some of the other guys maybe that you kind of stole from?
So like I was talking about at Mitchfield, Coach Struthers, I was under him for 3 years. 3 years as his JV coach. And that was so instrumental to my development as a head coach, now a varsity coach. He would involve me in everything at Mitchfield. He was a guiding light to my development. Man, he is a offensive guru. Defensive as well, but offensively, man, he literally has a play for every situation. And just to be under his tutelage for so long, I was able to learn so much so fast. And a lot of people in my shoes would jump ship so quickly and say it's my turn. But I stayed there and I learned for as long as I could. And that really has been instrumental to the success I'm having now, honestly. I was able to learn so much under him and be able to be a JV head coach and still have that head coach understanding on JV, but I was able to learn how to build a program as well from him, Coach Moore, but also Chris Moore over at VPCC, the athletic director and coach of the men's team over there. He has been instrumental in my development as well. I talk to him almost daily. But our schedules, especially right now, don't align always. So it's not always daily right now, but we bounce ideas off of each other, and I learn a lot from him. He has a bunch of knowledge, and he knows basketball just as well as his dad, and I've learned from the both of them. And I was his point guard in school, but now he shows me the way a lot of times now. So. Definitely Chris Moore, I would say, is that next guy that really has been instrumental into my development. And also got to give you your kudos as well, Coach Young. I didn't know you personally when I was JV head coach, but I always knew Coach Moore, and he always speaks so highly of you. And when I was my opportunity to become a varsity head coach, you were one of the first people that I went and made sure I introduced myself to. And you've been an open book to me ever since when I met you at Virginia Wesleyan, and I introduced myself and told you my backstory. And you have been very helpful and have showed me your program and things that you were facing and things that of that nature that really helped me understand how I can step into this and how I can create things my own. So.
Well,
Coach, go ahead.
I appreciate that, Jay. Really do. And what's intriguing about you as a youngster, a young head coach, is the opportunity for me to help somebody like yourself, where you came up and asked me. And I remember Ben talking a little bit about you, that he had a young guy he thought was going to be pretty good in the business. And then when you had come up to me that time, it brought that back to my head that, oh, this is the guy that he talked to me about. Because and credit to you, not a lot of young guys seek out head coaches, veteran head coaches, and ask for help. For whatever reason, I don't know. When I was younger, I asked the world for help. I remember sending a letter to nearly every Division I head coach in the country to get information back, because back then we didn't have social media to get it. And I got letters, books, videos, films, all kind of stuff from all kind of coaches. And then I started knowing what Division II and III coach. I was sending to everybody. Go to the Final Fours, ask people to send me their stuff. You don't see that much anymore. I work camps up and down the East Coast, all over the place, traveling like crazy, just to learn the business and get people to get to know my work ethic. So I tell you, in this situation, that's why I'm happy for you. I'm glad I don't have to face you anymore, because right now, at least, because you're getting things done the right way. And that's what I appreciate. Try to get things done the right way. And to have a youngster reach out to a veteran coach for help. A lot of guys think they know every damn thing, and they don't want to help anybody else. So there's a lot of jealousy in the business and whatever. I'm out here learning right now, not to blow myself up and not coaching. I'm watching games. I'm watching you against Hampton. And I'm not only watching a game, I'm watching you, your timeouts, your situation in the huddle. How do you sit kids? Where do you stand in the huddle? Where do you have your assistants? Where are the players not in the game? Where are they supposed to be standing? Where they're doing? I'm trying to relearn things. So when I come back, because I'm coming back, and I might get you on the schedule. I don't know. It depends. I got to see how good my team is first, or where I'm at. I want to be ready for this. But I do appreciate what you're saying, and you're reaching out to the veteran coaches for help, because it's already being shown. Not that I did anything that's going to make you what you are now. You're your own person. And you're a lot wilder on the sideline than me. You remind me a little bit of a young Ed Young. You're up and down. You're begging referees for every call. You're looking at the crowd. See, I'm calm now. I don't do none of that.
Yeah,
I just,
never go.
Say, Mr. Official, that was a very good call. Yeah. That was very good. And what's your address? I'm going to send you a Christmas present.
Oh, you would do that? Yeah.
That's how I am now.
Yeah, I'm learning quickly. Yeah, those referees are teaching me a lesson.
There you go. Well, Coach, it's been a blast chatting with you. I'm sure we could go another half hour or hour, but you got a game today at 6 o'clock against Nansemond River. Ed's Old School with Joe Hassell leading the Warriors, who are also making some noise as well over there at Kings Fork High School. All the best to you and your program. I'm sure we'll be chatting as we get closer to playoff time, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you so much today.
All right. Thanks for having me. Thank you, too.
Thanks, Jay. Good luck to you. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Head basketball coach, the Denbigh Patriots, our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. We'll come back and do some more here on the program, including some Take Your Pick. We've got some more high school hoops sound as well. It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk, but let's hear a word from our sponsors that make it possible for us to do this with you each and every week on CoVA Sports TV.
Hi, this is Wayne Williams of Williams Deloach. I'm an experienced personal injury attorney, and I hope you don't need my services, because I certainly don't like to see people injured on a daily basis. But in preparation for that unfortunate situation, your insurance coverage is very vital to your case. Give me a call today. I'd be happy to discuss your insurance situation for you and your family. That's the most protection you have, and you want to have that ahead of time.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that. but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better. And it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
All right, I'm here with Oscar Smith, head basketball coach LaVar. Griffin. His Tigers defeat Nansemond River 60-55 here at the Dollar Dome in Chesapeake. Coach, heck of a battle with Nansemond River, a team that's on the rise, and you knew even when you got up early that they would make a push, didn't you?
Yes, I did, man. I knew, but what Joe been doing, he's been doing a good job at coaching them guys up, man. And I told the guys, I said, they're gonna come in here and play hard, and just watching them on film and just seeing them play, I knew it was gonna probably be that type of game.
Be honest, when a big-name coach like James Franklin from Penn State walks in the building, everybody starts to go, ooh and ah, look, that's the guy I just watched on TV a couple weeks ago in the college football playoff. It does provide a little bit of a distraction to a degree. You got to get kids refocused to an extent, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, Travis is one of the big-time football players in the state. So I don't think that was the reason. But at the same time, it is nice to see a guy like that come in the gym and come watch a game and stuff like that. So, it was fun.
Let's talk about Travis as well as Jacoby Harper. Travis late in the game, big slam, and Jacoby with 21 points, 10 rebounds. It felt like from your bigs inside with Narad as well as Travis on the wing, playing that forward wing spot for your Jacoby at the backcourt. You guys made a more conscious effort in the second half of getting on the backboards. Was that a key coming down the stretch?
Oh, yes. I told the guys in halftime, we just needed to play better defense and get our stops, get our rebounds. And that's just one of our things that we talk about all the time is we got to play good defense and we got to rebound the ball. And that happened. And we kind of buckled down. We started to settle down, and we played better defense in that second half.
Anthony Lewis also gave you a little bit of a spark, too, because it felt like he got off to a good start, went away, and then you guys established him again. Was that also with them sort of watching what Jacoby could do off the bounce? Cam Walters very quick for you in the backcourt, and Travis's athleticism that leaves somebody loose to kind of make some plays and slash like he can do? Yes,
It's hard to play all them guys. It could be any given night with them guys. And tonight was one of them nights where, it could go either way. It could go to Kobe, it could go to Anthony, and then, it could go back and forth. But that's just the blessing that I have with my team, having multiple guys that can do multiple things to help us win games.
When they tied it up a couple of times there, I think in the fourth round midway, what'd you say in the huddle there to kind of give them the confidence? They probably knew they could finish it up, to reassure them they could finish this one off.
Well, first of all, when you mess with teenager guys, the first thing you got to say to them is like, settle down. It's okay. Like, it's basketball, and like I always say, what I'm really proud of them is that they kept battling. They kept trying to figure it out, and we did. But at the same time, it's a learning experience to get us ready for the regional playoffs.
Lastly, milestone win for you recently here, 300 victories. I mean, tell me about just this traveling group. Everywhere you go, you have a big crowd. I mean, you play Norview, you play Green Run, and our Virginia Preps over there, big crowd. You play Verina, overtime game at Kings Fork. Indian River was a sellout, I think, here or close to it tonight. Good crowd. What's it been like for this group, and are you enjoying kind of the moment, even though there are some pressure and expectations that accompany it?
Yeah, I love the moment because a lot of these guys come through the program, and like I said, it's just – when you on top sometimes and you one of the top teams in the area or one of the top teams in the state, it's going to be like this. People want to come out and see what we're about. And it's been a blessing. It's a blessing when you got kids like that and you got guys that play hard and just buy into what you're doing. And what happens is it makes the program look good. So the program has just been a blessing, just having good players come through. And I think that's the reason why I'm where I'm at as a coach.
Well, they've got effort, attitude, and toughness here in the weight room, and the Tigers show tonight under Coach Griffin. Thanks so much. All the best.
Thank you.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Heard from LaVar Griffin, head basketball coach of the Oscar Smith Tigers, got his big win recently, 300 and 60-55 over Nansemond River. We got coming up in a little bit Travis Johnson, his two-sport standout, Ed, who had James Franklin in the house. You know who James Franklin is, right? You know who James Franklin is, don't you?
Wait. My skin is like you're making me uncomfortable. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
He did that 3 times the other night, folks, when he saw Ed Young. He said, "You're making me uncomfortable." Ed went up to him, tried to get his autograph, shake his hands, take pictures with him, and he just said, "Look, Ed,
my skin is like you're making me uncomfortable. Like I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, we had to get security to remove Ed from James Franklin, who was trying to then throw in his face Notre Dame this, Notre Dame that, we beat you. So it was a very uncomfortable and not so pleasant situation. I was disappointed in you, Ed. I thought you would behave yourself a lot better than you did.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see the head coach from Penn State there. It's him and an assistant or two there to obviously Travis Johnson.
Marcus Hagans and Anthony Poindexter were those 2 assistant coaches, by the way. Hagans, who played at Hampton High, and Poindexter, who started at UVA and is in the Hall of Fame, Virginia Sports Hall of Fame.
So they made their appearance here and a decent sized crowd over there at Smith to see them against Nansemond. And of course, I caught that last part of the interview with LaVar, but it's kind of neat when you see, and I was sitting with Troy Terry, the girls basketball coach at Smith, and he told me it's his second year there. He said the thing that amazes him being there, it did happen at Western Branch too, but a little more so at Smith, is how many college football coaches come through, especially this time of the year, in recruiting. And he said a lot of it's the head coaches. They do make appearances. He said we see the assistants as much as we see the rest of the faculty people. But he said then you'll see the head coaches pop in, to close deals on players. And he said it's kind of like a common thing over there. Like some schools go, berserk when they see a head coach walk in the building. But he said at Smith it's just kind of regular. Part of the faculty, so to speak. So that was kind of neat. And that was a big win for Smith over a very good Nansemond River team that just had some mistakes in the second half, missed some key shots. They did some things against a really, really good team you can't afford to do, and that is not convert turnovers that you do get from them, not convert offensive rebounds that they did get their share of. And they missed some key shots that you have, because Smith are volume scorers. They got supports on the board. But I thought River did a tremendous job of defending them and
Christian
holding
Jordan and Tayron Atwater really stepped it up for them in those middle quarters to get them back in the game. When it looked like it was going to be a Smith blowout early, it was a 7-0 right out of the gate. And then Smith, it felt like they were up 15-20. I turned to Ed Pugh, who interacts with us on the show sometimes too, does awesome job. Suffolk News Herald takes some terrific photos too, and he's got some photos I know up on his social pages with James Franklin up there. And I turned to Ed, I go, it feels like this game is a lot bigger than a 6-point margin. They just hung around there. And Nansemond can be a sleeper in this Class 5 picture. I mean, they got your guy Makai Mitchell in the paint. They got Atwater. They got Jordan. They don't have one or two guys that you have to stop, but they have about 6 or 7 guys that can step up and make plays. And you knew last year the team was positioned to make some noise this year and be a factor. Problem is, tough region. That 5B is a bear. You've got Maury, you got Kings Fork, you got Norview, you got Nansemond River, and oh, by the way, you got 2-time defending state champ Woodside. Have fun with all that. Not easy. And I've said before, and I'll say again, no disrespect to Region 5A. That region to me is as stacked as any in the whole state, bar none.
Well, first of all, you're right.
By the way, it's Kings Fork, Keith, not King Folk. But they play, I think it's next Friday, if I remember right, over at the Kennel in Suffolk.
In terms of your statement, I knew Nansemond River would be good again this year, whether I was coaching or not. Those players have one more year of experience, some good kids coming up off the JV team. And I knew Joe, in getting the position, he knows those kids, and it's just going to keep the ball rolling. So I could see that happening. And they've lost a couple tough ones to Kings Fork being the year. The game is very similar to Smith, a tough game to Maury over at Denbigh in a showcase earlier in the year. And I understand that they lost to Princess Anne, which was a little surprising. I've seen Princess Anne. I thought Nansemond could knock them off.
Yeah. Let me stop there for a second. Did you see what Princess Anne did last night? You didn't.
Yeah. Princess Anne pretty good.
What did they do last night? Do you know what they did last night? You have no idea.
Yeah, they played a game last night. I understand that.
They did. So what did they do in the game? Since you know what happened.
They made baskets. They played defense.
I got him. I caught him with his pants down, folks. Not his pants down. His pants are up. Thank God. We don't want his pants down.
That's the dumbest statement you could ever make. So
I
no.
know.
But Nansemond, like I said, was going to be pretty good. So they're not a surprise team for people think, where's this Nansemond River team come? They're good. And they're a program, and I take pride in it that we built that program to be in this position, to be a regular contender like Smith in 6. And yes, I'll still wave the flag that Region 5A, it's good. Region 5B, Region 5, period, is still, I think, throughout the state, you're going to have to argue with me to say that another region is better.
I'll also make the statement for you that if you're going to replace a legendary coach, which you are, I'm not kissing your fanny or your feet, and your pants are up, thank God. But you are a legendary coach. You better make the right hire. And Nansemond River had some people that I had heard were in the mix that were not the right people, and I think they got the right guy to follow you in Joe Hassell, which is not easy to pick that guy, and he was under you, got the right demeanor. I think he's doing a good job with them. Earlier, John Huffman said number 12, 2 fouls. That was Anthony Lewis, who we talked about. He's so key for them. He's a slasher to go with Jacoby Harper, the guard who you love so much, 21 points, 10 rebounds. Travis Johnson, the terrific multi-sport athlete. And then you have in addition to those two guys, the big guy inside, Narad Jarvis, Cam Walters at guard, but Lewis is sort of that X factor at times for them. He can disappear or he can go get 25 without being just this dead-eye shooter or killer handler. And when he doesn't make a lot of impact, that could affect them in bigger spots. So we'll see. Kudos to Smith. They got a good ball club. I want to go back a second, though, Ed, with you. That PA Lansdowne thing for a second. You mentioned PA. You didn't see it last night. They were up 10 in the second quarter against Lansdowne. At Lansdowne, they went to overtime, had a 3-point lead. No Dame Robinson last night for Lansdowne. I'm not sure why, if he was sick or whatnot. But anyway, he didn't play in the game. Lansdowne pulled it out in OT at the buzzer. They were down 3, got a 3 from Alonzo Martinez, then got a steal. He missed the 3, and Xavion Cleveland, the multi-sport football basketball athlete who's a multi-sport star like Travis Johnson, we'll get to in a second, had the putback at the horn, and they celebrate at Lansdowne. But just a crazy finish, a heartbreaking loss for Greg Montgomery at PA, who, by the way, as a first-year coach like Joe Hassell, doing a heck of a job. They gave Green Run fits the other night. They were down 16 at the half in that game, took a brief lead late, and then lost it as Cash Jackson went coast to coast for a go-ahead layup. But PA could be a dark horse in 5A. So if you're looking for a couple sneaky teams, I don't think PA or Nansemond win those regions, but they're not the teams you want to play in the first round of those regions.
I would agree with that. And I did see PA beat Western Branch, and Greg Montgomery is doing a really good job with that team, putting that team together. They got the big fella in the middle. Name escapes me, but 6'7".
Is it Alan Davis? I think you're talking about Alan Davis inside.
Yeah, I think he's
Isaiah Goodson in the backcourt. They got, is it Carter Berry? They got some good parts. They do.
Yeah, the big fella, I think, came from Kings Fork.
Namarcus Bird's the other young kid who's pretty good for them as well. Namarcus Bird.
So
and by the way, Styles Clemens is not there anymore. He was their dominant player.
Right.
I'm not going to say they're better without Styles, but in a strange way, it seems like they're more balanced without him, and they're maybe more efficient at times. That's a weird thing to say, but it feels that way. I wouldn't say they're better, but in a weird way, they haven't had a big drop-off after his departure, which you would have thought they might.
Right. They've kind of spread that wealth out a little bit and getting it done also on the defensive end, which I think when these first-year coaches take over programs, and we talked with Jay Grimes earlier at Denbigh, and I remember when Jay talked to me when he first got the job about coaching and what are some things I really got to look at. My key was defensively. Get your kids to play defense. I don't know what it takes. Bribe, plead, borrow, punish, whatever. Get them to play defense.
What'd you do to get them to play defense? Did you give them candy bars? What'd you do?
Well, I can't say publicly some things that I did to our kids that.
Investigate them, ladies and germs. Investigate them. Put them under investigation. Go ahead.
But you've got to get those kids, I think more so than the offensive end, you've got to get them to buy in for defense because it's just a matter. Defense is basically stopping / controlling your guy because we do play a lot of man-to-man. But if you go into zone, which I think zone's harder to play than man-to-man, then it is that team effort still. But you've really got to do it from a defensive end. And then, of course, you got to put your offense stuff in there. Remember now on offense, you got certain kids you don't want shooting the ball a lot. They're out there because it's not like football where you can have a defensive squad and an offensive squad. But there are times in basketball, I wish I could do that. But you can't. You got to leave them out there. What you got to do is be able to hide those kids on offense and put the ball in your best scorer's abilities. And in high school basketball, normally you only get a couple kids that can really score it unless you pick a team and you can pick 5 scorers. And that's why when you put a team together, people say, well, that guy got cut. How come that guy got cut? Well, wait a minute, that guy's better than that guy. You don't understand what it takes to put a team. You don't pick 12 great offensive players for a high school team. You got to pick kids that do a lot of different things. But some of these first-year head coaches are doing a really good job, and I think the key is they are getting their teams to play defense, which is really going to be needed. Offense will kind of take care of itself. Going back to Smith now, the key thing about Smith, why I really like their squad, they can score from all 5 positions on the floor. Their defense initiates their offense. It's their actual number one offense is their defense. I don't think they're at the high end of half-court executing type team. But, boy, they will annihilate you in a up-and-down type game, and they can score in transition. And they're a team, one of the very few teams I've seen, when they're down, they have the ability to come back and take a big lead because not only can they outscore you, they're going to defend you. A lot of teams don't do that. So that's why they're strong. And I like the Harper kid. That's my favorite kid on Smith. I know we talked about Lewis and, of course, Travis Johnson, the football kid. I like the Harper kid. I think he really is a factor at both ends. Smith is not a big physical team, which is where I think they could be in trouble in the regionals if they play a team that's got physicalness inside and half decent guards. That may give them trouble because they're not really big.
Is that a word? Or physicality? Don't you mean physicality?
Yeah, physicality. Okay. And they will also gang rebound, which is pretty good to do too. Not a lot of teams do that. So they're a team that's going to be a tough out as they go on. I think they're a state championship contender in 6. I've seen Hatfield that you say is a team that would contend with them. I think they're better than Hatfield. I've seen Lansdowne. That should be a great matchup when they play Lansdowne, which has been traditionally the big matchup in this area for 6. So Smith can be there very easily in the end if they just keep doing things. But LaVar and his comment about at times the need to focus in better on things, I think that's an issue with Smith. At times they kind of get disinterested in playing. I've seen them play 4 times this year, and they've been down in some of those games too, and that's kind of the reason why, because they're going to get people's best shot. And if they're not into it 100%, somebody can knock them off.
Yeah, that's kind of how it happens sometimes. Would you like to hear from Travis Johnson right now, or would you want to go backwards to –
Always like to hear from the kids.
Okay.
Because they're the ones playing the game.
This is true. We caught up with the multi-sport athlete who James Franklin came to see from the Tigers, Travis Johnson. He had, I think, about, was it 14 points he had in the game? Something like that. We say it in the interview. And he also talks some football recruiting. Who's going to land this young man? Let's give it a listen now on CoVA Sports TV. All right, here with Oscar Smith, 2 Sports standout, Travis Johnson. His Tigers beat the Nansemond River Warriors 60-55 here at home in Chesapeake at the Dollar Dome. Travis, everywhere you guys go, packed house, whether it be against the rival Indian River last week. You played Griffin in our Virginia Preps Classic, Norview, Verona over at Kings Fork, and tonight with the Nansemond River. How did it feel to get that dunk late in the fourth quarter and you guys finished off in style?
It feels great. I like the way we finished, but we gotta start off fast. Like we can't let teams like that. That's a good team. They're well coached, but we should have at least won by 15. So we gotta start off better.
What was the key tonight to getting out to the early lead and then finishing it off? Because they did make a couple runs at you guys, tied it up, and it looked like Nansemond had a chance to pull the upset.
Yes, sir. They definitely had the chance. We played off slow, but I like the way we finished. And we won.
How's it been for you balancing the basketball season here? You guys are number 1 in the state in Class 6, have big expectations to go pursue this championship, and also getting a lot of the football attention, the recruiting attention. How have you kind of balanced it all out and also going on different visits to schools, and if you will?
The balance has been smooth. It's not really anything like football. I just moved it a little bit to the side right now. I focus on basketball to get this ring too.
Sure. Now, you did just pick up an offer from Georgia yesterday.
Yes,
tell me about that, how cool that was. And I know James Franklin and the Penn State coach were in the house to see you tonight as well.
Georgia was great. Georgia's always one of my favorite schools growing up. They always won the championships. And yeah, it was great getting on.
What's it mean for Coach Franklin and also Coach Higgins, Coach Poindexter to come check you out in a basketball game and meet with your family and those type of things?
It's great. I love when coaches come and show love. That makes me feel like a priority. And that's why Penn State's definitely on the top of my list.
Sure. A couple more for you. We'll finish up with recruiting as well. What's this like with this basketball team? It feels like there's a good bond and a brotherhood with you all. What's the key to your success as a group? Is it that closeness off the court?
Yes, sir. It's a close, like how we felt last year when we lost. I think we got tighter after that. So we're going to go win it this year.
What do you think the strength is for you on the court and then also the strength of this basketball team as a whole?
Me is definitely athleticism. The team, I like how we run the floor. We run fast. We go to the cup and score.
Have some of these battles and impact houses made you all better, and if so, how?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
So it's just you staying focused on the prize. Doesn't matter about who you see as the opponent.
Yes, sir.
Makes sense. On the recruiting front, as we finish up, then we'll talk about basketball. What's kind of the next steps for you? You got some schools you're going to check out here coming up?
I'm going to fly to Michigan tomorrow.
Okay.
And I already set up 3 OVs for this summer. And I'm going to hit up a couple spots for spring practices. And I'm going to get 2 more OVs.
Who OVs you set up, official visits?
VTech, South Carolina, and Penn.
All right, cool deal. And lastly, basketball-wise, what are the things that you're focused on in terms of helping his team go get that goal and win the championship like you did in football this past December to go get a ring?
Just keep working hard so I can get Coach Griffin's first one, too.
There you go. Travis looking for another ring in basketball to go with one in football, and a good win tonight. Thank you so much. All the best. There you have it. Travis Johnson caught up with us after the win over Nansemond River. He's fun to watch it. I mean, it feels like he's at any moment he's going to dunk one home. And great young man. I got to give his family props. You know, older brother plays football at West Virginia. Tori, his mom Tiffany's out there, loves him to death. She doesn't miss anything, and she takes him all over the country. I mean, she what she's done in terms of investing for her kids. Bravo to her, as a lot of parents and moms and families do. But he's got such a bright future ahead. He mentioned the official visits there: Virginia Tech, South Carolina, Penn State. Georgia was the offer. You heard he liked them when he's a youngster. You can do this better than I can because I'm the guy that covers this on a day-to-day basis, and you're just the talking head coach who speaks out of sometimes both sides of his mouth. Where do you think he's going? Do you have a prediction yet?
Oh, Georgia.
Really? You think it's a done deal? Not
Done
West
deal.
Virginia, the family legacy, not Miami, who I heard somebody back there, I forgot who it was he's got to go to Miami. He's got to go. Let the kid go. He wants to go, number one. But number two, he can pick just about anywhere he wants to go. You think it's going to be UGA, huh? You think it's going to be the Bulldogs?
Well, he's going to be a tremendous wide receiver. I mean, he already is at this level, but he still has another year of high school. Then he has his freshman year of college. Now, the question is, will he be redshirted? Because a lot of freshman kids get redshirted. He may be good enough to play immediately. So he's a couple years away from stepping on a college field. And you and I are both in agreement. We think he's also going to be a kid someday you're going to see playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I and I really don't know. I'm just thinking Georgia off the top of my head. Of course, I'd love to see our kids stay in state. You say Virginia Tech wants them bad, to see them play in state. But sometimes these kids get, ballyhooed with these guys coming from all over. Miami's a name, Georgia's a name,
Sure.
Penn State's a name. And he's tickled by the idea that you got a head coach coming in to see a high school player, which is important. It's the nature of the process, but it does show they are very serious. When a head coach makes an appearance, usually they are very serious because it's the assistants that have to find them, and then have to show the head coach on film. Then head coach has to say, okay, yes. Then he has to go there to try to close the deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying off the top of my head right now, today you asked me, I'm going to say Georgia.
I thought you were going to lobby for Notre Dame, by the way. I will say.
They're not in the picture yet. They're not in the picture.
Not yet. Hey, listen, he's making his mark to be one of those best multi-sport. There's some legendary names, some different stratosphere names. The Ronald Curry's, the Allen Iversons, the Percy Harvins. But there's been some recent ones here lately, like a Justin Hunter, a Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think Travis is right in that mold and bill of what he does. Melvin Gaither with any local classics today. I'm thinking about going to Richmond for the John Marshall Woodside game tonight. There are some local classics you have over at Kings Fork, that battle lines we talked about earlier that features Denbigh taking on Nansemond River, 6 o'clock. The nightcap of that over at Kings Fork is at 7:30 with Kings Fork and Lake Taylor. Before those two games, Hampton plays Meadowbrook at 4:30. Heritage of Newport News plays Morey at 3, and Kickingham plays Norfolk Collegiate at 1:30. Cost is $15. You also have the Bruin Classic over at Western Branch that they're putting on, and that features, as I pull up that lineup here off my phone to give you the matchups of that. I'm trying to stall for time to find it. I'm going to find it here in a moment. This is my way of yammering, which Ed says I do all the time anyways. Aha, I found it. 12:30 Nansemond Suffolk Academy versus War Hill. 2 o'clock Great Bridge versus Grafton. 3:30 Deep Creek versus Princess Anne. Grassfield Deep Run at 5 o'clock. 6:30 is Western Branch Tallwood, and 8 o'clock is Indian River and Norview over there in the Bruins Winter Classic. I have no idea who the heck is calling me right now. They know I'm doing a podcast. They shouldn't be calling me right now. So, Ed, we do have some local showcases going on beyond the big showdown tonight in Richmond, which features John Marshall taking on, I should say, the men of Marshall, the Woodside Wolverines, who now have the longest winning streak in the state. And, oh, by the way, the Blue Devils square off Verona versus Hopewell in the matchup before that. Any quick thoughts before we go to break and then do our clips with Tim Sparks and Garrett Ross, head basketball coach of the quietest undefeated team in the state that we'll talk about. And if you don't know who he is or where he coaches, you'll find out here shortly.
The showcase is tremendous, what we have at Kings Fork and Western Branch. I personally like to go see the big match up with Woodside and Marshall up in Richmond. But people, if you go to that, it's a cost, a big cost. Even the media has to pay to get in, believe that one. So just understand, if you're going to go to make the trip to Richmond, and there are more games than just Marshall and Woodside, check the your tickets first, and then make sure you want to pay that amount. Somebody was telling me for general admission, it's $30. You heard correctly, $30. So just make sure, if you plan on coming and bringing 4 or 5 family members, you better bring your paycheck.
Let's just put it out there too that there are, I don't know the entire details. We'll have to ask Ty White, who's the founder of Team Loaded, and we love Ty over at John Marshall, that a lot of those proceeds, if not all, a good portion of proceeds do go to cancer research. So we do want to put that out there. People think that there is a good benefit to what they are doing over there. All right, we're going to come back with more. We do have Take Your Pick coming your way soon. Yes, we do. It's coming up. But another time out here on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But we'll come back in just a bit here after we hear a word from some of the sponsors. And I think one of them is Town Bank. Today it's the Town Bank Royal Rivalry Challenge at ODU. Going out there today and support the Monarchs. See you in a bit. Or support the Dukes if you like the school that my dad went to. We'll be back in just a moment.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. They're looking for an actual personal relationship. And that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Offensive board. That's the third on Flagey.
Wow. Kim Mulkey just got teed up.
I mean, looking at that, it looks like Peyton Verhulst extends her arm though.
But I think that what the official saw was the contact before the arm extension.
Okay. So Kim Mulkey teed up. Both coaches have now received technicals in this game.
See, I think that the official saw the initial contact with Flagey on Verhulst, and then Verhulst retaliated, but the whistle was already blown. That's why the foul was called on Flagey Johnson.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Again, Kim Mulkey's been watching too much of Ed Young on the sidelines. He's got to stop acting like him. Out of control.
I don't recall slapping a clipboard out of a assistant coach's hand.
Yeah, but you did tell the referee one time to move the chair back and got teed up, bopped right away.
Yeah.
That was against the late, great Ben Moore, by the way, who we spoke about earlier with Jay Grimes at Denbigh. And shout out to Marcus Johnson-Williams over there, to AD at Denbigh, for tuning into the show. I know he was watching and enjoyed it. He made a great hire with Jay Grimes over there, but we appreciate even the administrators watching the program, and a former football coach he is. And everybody, whether you're a fan, player, coach, we all like you to interact and watch and tune in with us each and every week. But yeah, you and Kim Mulkey are two peas in a pod. You really are.
Well, in my younger days, I get a little too emotional.
You're right there, Woodrow.
And I remember doing some stupid things.
I remember you doing some stupid things too. Go ahead.
Punched the locker one time, broke my hand. That was dumb.
You punched the locker and broke your hand?
Yeah, that was in my way, and we were up six at halftime.
You need to be more calm like me. By the way, you see this nice Virginia Prep shirt? I gotta get you one of these, Woody, and definitely Keith. I gotta get you one of these dry fits. We gave a few out to some winners. These are so comfortable. These Virginia Prep's classic dry fits. Ed's got one, in fact. He might wear it one of these weeks. But why don't you be more calm like me? I'm always calm, cool, collected. You over there, you're punching lockers. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, you have a little coaching tendency in you. When I've been around you, when for some reason certain games make you get feisty really quick.
I don't get feisty over games. I could care less. All I care about is the food I eat.
I got a feeling why. I got a strong feeling why. Because like when a team gets down, you start like remind me of my little nephew. You start crying and kicking and screaming, and then you roll on the ground and you roll back.
Nobody believes this.
I haven't seen that.
Lies on this show. Lies.
But yeah, but I've done that. Was a long time ago when I was a younger coach, and a little crazy on some certain things. I threw my suit jacket in the crowd one time and then realized that suit cost like $300, $250, $300. So I had to go run up there and get it before somebody tore it.
What is wrong with you?
Sometimes the referees get me some bad officials get me a little upset. And
like the ones from the Chiefs-Bills game last Sunday?
No, I think I saw in that game maybe one that was not.
You must only watched like the last you would have seen more than one in the last quarter. I was gonna say you must have missed a lot of the game.
No, I try to watch games very closely, and I think there was at least one. I thought one that I thought was a spot was wrong, and where they put the football.
One spot. It was just one. Okay.
Yeah, but for the most part, I thought the officials were fairly consistent, fairly decent. So
we have some more high school hoops now. We took in a private school game, TCIS style, on Tuesday night. Did we not, Edward?
Yeah, I've got. I don't even want to go over what happened with me for that.
Yeah, you got in late, but anyways, you did see your pal Rob Burke. You did see your pal Rob Burke from Shawana. We got to get on the show sometime soon.
Yeah, we got to get Rob on there, but it was if I'm not mistaken, a double overtime win for Peninsula Catholic. You saw a great game. I saw 2 great overtimes. That's all I got to see in the game. By the time I found a door that was unlocked that they let me in. So I got there late for I was trying to help a friend out. So that kind of tied me up and I got in there late. But it was a really good game and 2 great overtimes, one by Peninsula Catholic. And you had the opportunity to speak with the one and the only head coach of Peninsula Catholic, Tim Sparks. Let's hear what he had to say right here on CoVA Sports TV.
At this point. All right, I'm here with Peninsula Catholic head basketball coach Tim Sparks. His team wins a double overtime thriller at Norfolk Collegiate, 82-72. I think, Coach, the last 23 meetings, NoCo's won like 20 of them. It's been a long, long time, if ever, since PC's won a game in this gym. What's it mean for you and your kids and the community and everybody involved?
It just means a lot to me. The guys have really, really bought in. Our team chemistry right now is at the highest it's been all season, and the guys are really, really bought into playing for each other. So it's been outstanding. It means a lot for the whole program.
I think it was like unofficially 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 or 6 steals for Jalen Wynn. It looked like you were dead in the water, down 11 in the fourth quarter. It felt like he was willing you guys back. What's he bring to your team on a nightly basis?
Well, tonight he just scored his 1,000th high school career point. Nice. He was only 13 points away, so I didn't know what he got, but you just said he had 26.
Probably, double.
Jalen is a big piece of our whole. The reason he's the main engine of our program. The head coach of a Division II school is here tonight because they want him so bad, and some other schools really want Jalen too. So he's a scholarship level player, and I'm just really, really proud of him. He's been handling his business in the classroom. He's got like over a 2.9 in the GPA right now for school, and he's just been doing a really good job.
What do you like most about his game? It seems like he can slash and do a lot of different things on the court for you.
He can. My favorite thing is just his defense. I don't know if you saw early on when he blocked Justin at the rim with 2 hands, and he's been doing that all season against some big kids that think that they normally get like clean looks, and Jalen's been meeting them right at the rim and blocking it with 2 hands cleanly.
Rather quietly, 20 points and 9 rebounds for Justin Hunter, a young pup for you that's really coming into his own as well.
He really is. He was big in that double overtime where he got in the lane and was able to finish a couple uncontested layups at the end there.
And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Zion McGlone. He made some crucial plays for him. It looked like it might go the other way for Norfolk Collegiate.
Yeah, that was big too. Zion, that was his first game back in over a week because he had an injury. So it was really exciting to have him back, and his athleticism is just unreal. Like, he can just meet you up at the rim. He catches so many alley-oops and dunks. And if you see how he plays on defense, he was really frustrating their guards the way he was staying in front of them.
2 more for let you run. Obviously, Junior Burrow, former NBA player, UVA center, his son Justin's a big focal point for them. What was kind of the strategy to keep him at bay, which I know is not easy?
It's not easy at all. But Justin Hunter, for us, that was his assignment. And then towards the end of the game, we ended up going 2-3 zone, and I really thought that was to our advantage. Instead of us having to match up against Justin and other guys, we were just trying to pressure them and not just sit back in a lax 2-3, but we were trying to be in an aggressive extended 2-3. And I thought it really ended up being to our advantage at the end.
Lastly, certainly you've been around the block here in the 757. You've coached college ball. You've coached at Princeton Hampton Christian. Now your first year rodeo with Peninsula Catholic. What's it been like for you, and what's kind of the ceiling for this team as you get ready for the TCIS tournament, which is not too far off in the distance?
Yes. I'm just real excited. I'm really blessed to be here and have this opportunity. I have amazing assistant coaches that, in all sincerity, they could be head coaches at high school level at a lot of different places. So I'm really blessed to have the coaching staff that is unbelievably prepared. They're watching film. They're giving me a scouting reports. They're helping these guys prepared every day in practice. And we're really looking forward to the TCIS. It's kind of wide open. I believe it's us, Cape Henry, and Stewart are the last 3 undefeated teams in our league. So it's really, really awesome. Catholic's obviously super talented, but Stewart got them last week at their place. So it's just the top part of our conference is very competitive.
Yeah, very recommendable. It was double extra for the night for Coach Sparks tonight. Thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Thank you so much, Matt. Appreciate you. God bless you.
Heck of a double overtime win for Tim Sparks of Peninsula Catholic. And what a win they got on Friday night to follow that one up as they beat the Stewart school. Remember, Stewart beat Catholic, who we saw in the Virginia Preps Classic against Verina the night before the Classic up there in Richmond. Peninsula Catholic takes them down. So PC, if I'm not mistaken, they're at the top of the TCIs this year. The tournament, I think, is at HRA on the Peninsula. But what a job he's done in year one. You got to be really thrilled for your good buddy Tim Sparks over there at PC.
Tim does a good job, no matter where he's at. He's Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. I call him the mayor of basketball because he shakes so many hands. At times, I think he was the innovator of COVID.
People will take that the wrong way. Don't say that. They think you're saying something bad when you say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, if you don't know, I love Timmy to death.
You don't understand Ed's humor. He thinks he's saying something negative. So don't say that anymore.
If you don't know,
people when you say that.
If I gotta tell people out there, if you don't know, you better ask somebody instead of going off. Let's just do it that way. But Tim does a really good job with the kids wherever he's been, and he's been in a few places now. People used to say I was a Larry Brown of high school basketball. I think Tim has that title pretty much wrapped up, and he's doing a good job at Peninsula and a big win over Stewart, no question. Mm-hmm. And they do remain the last overtime undefeated team in the league that they're in. So, and of course, still matchups to come. Still, month of February. Now we got a couple more weeks. I won't say a whole lot of basketball regular season. It's only a couple more weeks, and then it's playoff time. It really gets amped up.
Yeah, we got to hit on some of the girls' topics. You see, John, I've been talking about Norfolk Christian girls. We might get their coach on here soon. We got to hit on some of the girls because we know, Princess Anna's the queen in a lot of respects, but we need to give them some of their love and attention. And as we get ready for our coverage for state tournament for the NFHS network with our buddies Andy Hayes and Mark Fout and Demetrius Means up there at VCU coming up next month. But Jalen Wynn's, I think he's an all-time winner candidate for sure for them, all-state level player for PC. Your former guy, Devin Gaines, had a bounce-back game on Friday. He didn't play as well as the game we saw, but played really well against Stewart. So keep an eye on the Knights. They're looking pretty good. And there's another team in the 7-5-7 that's kind of flying under the radar. I think PC's under the radar. How about this team in the Bay Rivers that we saw on Friday night? They're 17-0, and I dare say there's not a quieter 17-0 in the entire Commonwealth. And I do the state rankings. We have 60 teams ranked across the 6 classes in VHSL basketball from 6 down to 1. You have no unbeatens left in 6. You have Woodside in 5. You have John Hanley in 4. You have Meridian in 3. Carroll County got knocked off this week. I think they did. I'm mistaken. Oh, I know Graham got knocked off this week in Class 2 by Virginia High. And then there's another team in Class 3 that's unbeaten. Who are they?
People don't know. You better go get a chance to watch them. We got the chance last night to take that trip up to that area. Now, let me tell you this. New Kent High School, to go to that school at night, make sure you have your flashlight with you beside your headlights. And if it rains, like it did last night, go slow because the deer will help you stay on the road.
Tell them, Melvin. Tell them. New Kent, baby.
Yeah, New Kent High School last night. We got a chance to see them play. They beat a slightly depleted Bruton squad.
Well, you said that because they had 2 starters out. They had Cy Gresham out, who's an X factor for them. Also, we're missing the shooter for them, Isaiah Randall, son of Brian Randall, former Bruton quarterback. But even without them, Albert Haskins does a good job. The guard, Brandon Freeman's an all-state kid, plays football, basketball really good. And Anthony Henderson, son of Hampton UAD, over there, he's a terrific football athlete. He brings athleticism. And they battled back against New Kent. But the Trojans won it at home. Nice gym, too, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled it off. They got some great shooters. Boy, they got some great shooters. And I saw New Kent in the fall league. They've been in our fall league the last three or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He brings them down, takes that drive because he said he needs to play against that kind of competition because it helps him. And I saw it last night. It definitely helping him. And then you got a chance to speak to head coach Garrett Ross right after that win over Denbigh last night. Let's
Denbigh. They didn't beat Denbigh. They beat Bruton.
Yeah, Bruton. I got Jay Grimes on my mind for some reason. I have no idea why. But they knocked off a good Bruton ball club that's going to be a factor in 2A. So let's see what Garrett had to say when you talked to him last night right here on CoVA Sports TV.
All right, here with New Kent head basketball coach Garrett Ross. His team wins it by a count of 61-53 of the Bruton Panthers to move their record to 17-0 overall in the season. Coach, this is bringing back some of those great glory days of Jamie and Christian under Coach Allen. And you got to be proud of the boys here against a very athletic Bruton team. You held serve when they made a couple runs at you and got it done tonight.
Super proud of the team. Hats off to Bruton. They're a great program. And coming in, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. We had an overtime game last time with them. So super grateful for that. But yeah, you're talking about key guys. Jamie was a key in establishing our culture here. So we spent some time with him the last 2 years before he went to Italy and did his thing. So trying to do what we can.
Well, you got some key guys now, including your son and Will, and also Kyle Diggs, a couple 1,000-point scores, which we'll get to in a moment with you. But why don't you tell me about this junior for you, Marty Rayton? I think he had about 22, 24 points. He was knocking threes from all over the place.
Marty works hard. He's in the gym every day. He's one of those kids that is just the ideal one to coach. Whatever you want, he's there. He's the first to the floor. He's the first to help out in practice. He's like a second son to me, for sure.
Early on, you jump out on them 9-2. They made a run, as you would probably expect, with behind Brandon Freeman. I felt like a couple times you went through some wrinkles, like a 3-2 type of zone. Second quarter and into the game, fourth quarter. Was that kind of just slow them up from getting into the rim, into the lane, if you will?
Well, Freeman's really, really good at getting down the paint, so we want to try to contain that drive a little bit. Unfortunately, they were hitting some threes in the corner, so we couldn't really stay in it too long and just tried to mix it up a little.
Sure.
This is also the fourth game in 5 days for us.
Yeah, tell me about that. Was it just a matter of keeping your legs fresh? You used your bench a good amount tonight as well, and it worked to your advantage at times.
Yeah. No, it is what it is. It's high school basketball, so you got to be able to be ready, and people got to be ready to step up. Dylan Bowman came in, did some really key things, physicality-wise, which is really key for us.
Sure. Felt like coming out of the locker room at halftime, third quarter, you really maximized the free throw line. Was that a point of emphasis to get there and kind of live there again?
We wanted to be physical again to the inside. So Kyle, Christian, Mike, Dylan, we wanted to run some sets to just play a little bit of bully ball since we're a little bit bigger down there.
Sure. And correct me if I'm wrong, you have some background all the way to the west part of the country, Utah, if you will?
I did. I grew up, I went to a 5A school and was fortunate enough to play for a guy who coached for about 40 years in one state at a 5A level. So bringing a little bit of that West Coast culture, and trying to see what we can do with it.
Well, it touches my heart a bit because I'm a diehard Stockton Malone fan. But tell me about just you guys with the three-point line. You've been knocking down, I think, 11, 12 made threes per game this year. If people haven't seen you play, you're fun to watch. And was that something you knew this team could do, or is it part of your system in general?
It's what I love. I think growing up as a Carolina fan, growing up as a just fast-paced offensive shooter, as a guard playing in D3, that's just the way I love to play. Mm-hmm. So we train for it, we drill for it, we run all of our practices to be able to move the ball. I'm as proud of we're shooting about 40% as a team right now. We're shooting 25 to 33s a game and hitting over 40%. So, but we assist, and I think last few games we've had about 20, 25 assists, and we're doing that well. So that's just the way I like to play. Everyone touches the ball, everyone moves the ball, and everyone's ready to shoot.
Awesome. Lastly, and thank you so much for your time. How good can this team be? And at 17-0, I'm sure undefeated is not the talk. You want to win championships and just keep getting better. Where can you get better at?
We need to be a little more consistent. Sometimes we get little spurts, and we expect things to go in. When the shot doesn't fall, our energy needs to be created from the defense a little bit more. Our roots come a lot from our assistant coach who played at BCU. So that havoc-style defense helps and creates energy. I think falling back to that a little bit more when it's tight against some of the more athletic teams and trusting that process is part of what we really want to focus on.
Well, congrats, Lynn. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
New Kent Trojans beat the Bruton Panthers last night by a count of 61-53. Your man Marty Ray, Ed, who I know you love, number 24 out there, 22 points. He hit 4 threes. Panthers dropped to 11-5 overall. Their winning streak ends at 8, but Coach Haskins is a good group that's going to take on Highland Springs today. New Kent now at 17-0. Your thoughts from what you saw last night from the Trojans, and how about Coach Ross bringing in Jesse Pellarosa, former VCU standout on his coaching staff? That's a nice shrewd move there.
Yeah, Garrett's done a nice job with that team over the last few years. They don't look like much when you watch them in warmups. And I said the same thing in Fall League when I watched them in Fall League. But they can shoot the basketball. They play hard. They play well together. Looks like they've been playing together for a long time. The Marty Ray kid, number 24, might be, I've seen a million games this year, the best pure shooter that I've seen, meaning that, he has time to shoot it. He has the ball, it's time to shoot it. He's going to make 75% of those shots. Now you're going to say, okay, give me time to shoot it. Nobody in my face. I'm going to make, yeah, that's fine. He's going to make 75% of his shots. Now in the game, he has his ability to move off the dribble, shoot off the dribble, drive it, whatever. Those are some areas that he has to keep working on. But I'm telling you, catching it and you don't defend him, it's a basket. It's a basket. It's guaranteed it's a basket. That's how good a shooter he is. And again, he's not real physical and whatever, but the kid can shoot it. And Garrett's son also is another guy that can really put it down, where you have to get out and play those guys. You really have to do it. And if you say, well, I'm just going to be physical with them and beat them up, that doesn't necessarily work either. Yeah. They're undefeated for a reason. Maybe people say, well, they don't play the likes of some of the 757s down here, whatever. People, come on now. 17-0, you've got to be a pretty good ball club. And today they do play Highland Springs. They step out of their classification.
Bruton plays Highland Springs. Bruton does.
Oh, Bruton, that's right. Bruton got Highland. Wow, Bruton's got a crazy schedule too. And Garrett made a comment. I don't know if people listen to that. 4th game in 5 days. Now, people remember with some of the weather issues we had, a lot of people have some stacked games coming up. And I remember somebody was telling me their February schedule was like an NBA schedule. They might have 1 day off each week going into the regionals and that. And I face that a lot of times when I coach, and I kind of like playing a lot of games like that because you're at the end of the year, you're preparing for playoffs. Playoffs seem to be like that anyways. So it'll be interesting to see who can handle that. If you got injuries like Bruton had those injuries, they got to get those kids back, because especially if you're playing a lot of games. But it also shows coaches, young coaches, did you use your bench throughout the year? Because now if you need them and you haven't used them and they don't perform, that's a little bit your fault for not putting them in heated situations. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Ed loves to sub, folks. Sub. He wants steak and cheese. He wants.
I love subs, baby. I love subs.
He loves to sub.
We had a good sub last night too.
That's crazy when you did all that subbing in the Classic. Yeah, we did have a sub last night. We won't say what the name of the grill is because they don't sponsor the show.
But they probably don't know nothing about the show. But if they knew it, maybe they knew.
We got a couple new sponsors you saw during those commercials. Get on board with us. Reach out to Chuck. The whole crack staff will get you set up on CoVA Sports TV.
I need, or I should say I want, using your words, a sub shop to name a sub
after you,
after this guy in some manner.
The Ed Young? That means nobody wants to order that. That thing will be the least popular item on the menu. They'll say, "Oh no, I got to stay away from that."
I want the young stars with my.
They'll want the hat because they know that sub is going to give you everything you want when you bite down on it. That's what they want. They want the hat.
No, the young stars, YOUNGSTARZ, capitalize the Z at the end. That's patented, by the way, people. And that's that hip type sandwich. That's that sandwich got a lot of different meats in it and stuff in it. It's what the youngsters love to give. It's what the teenagers want to come in there. Ain't nobody gonna walk in and say, "Yeah, let me have one of those hats." What? You want a baseball hat? You want a skull cap? What do you mean hat? But that young star sub, woo, man. We got to get a sub place that makes the sandwiches to get those out there. We'll come in there and do the show. We'll come and do the show from there, bring some people in, do some giveaways. Oh, man, I can see it now. It would work, people. It would work. Pick up some sales of the sub shops that are not getting the traffic. Okay,
We're gonna come back and do Take Your Pick right here on CoVA Sports TV. It's our last set of commercials for today's show. We'll be back next week on Super Bowl Sunday weekend. No NFL picks for today. Ed actually, I think, has gained a gain on me and Bruce, which is very upsetting for next week's pick 3. And we'll do the coin toss. We'll do all kinds of picks next week. But right now, let's hear another word from the sponsors that make it possible for us on CoVA Sports TV.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
All right, it's our final segment for today's show before we move into the second weekend of February. Today is the first day of February, and it's time now to play Take Your Pick. Edward, you ready to play Take Your Pick? We got 5 burning Take Your Pick questions. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Here we go. Take your pick. Let's do it, as he says. A sweep or split in the Town Bank Royal Rivalry Challenge with ODU hosting JMU and women's hoops and JMU hosting ODU men's hoops. JMU women 18-4 overall, 10-0 in the Sun Belt. The ODU women 14-8 overall, 6-4 in the Fun Belt. I said Fun Belt. Meanwhile, the JMU men at 13-9, ODU men at 10-12. But Mike Jones's team 6-4 in league play. The Dukes did win in Norfolk earlier this season. Both are 6-4 in conference play. What do you think? Will we get a split or a sweep? Either way, take your pick. I want a Monarch sweep. Can I say that? I can say that on the broadcast.
Yeah, I want to see that. That would be great. Of course, 2 different places. They're not in the same facility. They're men are away, women are home.
What do you think it'll be? Will it be a sweep or a split? Take your pick.
I hate to be the one to say this. I think JMU men will have the advantage at home.
So you're going that, and then you're going to pick against our ladies today too, aren't you?
I'm going to go with the ladies on the win.
Really, to pull the upset? Okay.
Yeah, pull the upset. They're going to pull the up. They got it. They got to get it back together. They've been going through some hard time here lately. I think they can do it, and I think the men will definitely make a game of the JMU. They had an early lead here, and then some shots didn't fall. And then JMU went for a spear where they were.
You're going to go with the split. I thought for sure you'd pick a sweep, which is why I was set on picking a split. I'll
go with the split.
All right, I guess I'm going to go with the split as well. Next one, we go to high school hoops. There will be at least 3 teams that repeat as state champs in 2025. Winners in 2024 were South Lakes in 6, Woodside in 5, Hampton in Class 4, Northside in Class 3, John Marshall in Class 2, Lancaster in Class 1. In the cases of Woodside trying to get a 3-peat, same for Northside, John Marshall looking for a 4-peat. I'm going to say yes. Will there be at least 3? I'm going to say yes. I'm taking my pick. 3 will repeat. At least 3 will repeat.
I see 2
on
on the
list.
list.
I don't like Lancaster or Hampton right now, and I'm not so sure on South Lakes. But the other 3, Woodside, Northside, John Marshall, going for 3 and 4-peats. I like their chances a lot, especially in the case of Marshall and probably even Northside too.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I see 3.
Okay. You're going to go with 3. All right. How about the girls? 3 repeat winners. Manchester, Princess Anne, Woodgrove, Liberty Christian, Central Wise, and Eastside. We're a month plus away from seeing this. I love PA. It's almost a foregone conclusion. Manchester doesn't have Mia Woolfolk anymore. Woodgrove is good, but I'm not sure they're the favorite. LCA is good, but Class 3 is loaded. Central Wise, Robin Dotson's a legend. I'm going to say no. I think we get 2, not 3.
I'm thinking the same thing too.
You're a copycat.
One of these squads last year, I want to say, I don't know if it's Eastside or Central Wise, but I remember commenting on the broadcast, wow, they had like 1 senior they were using. I said, we'll see this team back next year and probably repeat. I can't remember if it was Wise or Eastside. I don't think it was Woodgrove or Manchester.
Okay.
We did Liberty Christian, though, too.
We've got 2 more. NBA style. Cleveland's Cavaliers will finish with the NBA's best record, or someone else will. The Cavs currently 39-9. OKC 2 games behind in the win column. Boston 34-15. What do you think? Take your pick. Best record in the NBA. Will it belong to Cleveland for home court advantage, or will it be somebody else?
I'm going to say OKC gets it.
Really? We're agreeing too much today. We're
good.
agreeing way too much. We've not planned this, folks. You are spoiling this game. Spoiling this game. But I do think the Cavs will get the number 1 seed in the East. And I do think that we'll see, I'll put it on record right now, I think we'll see an OKC Cleveland final. Boston, I don't think you get back there. I don't.
Boston will be in the final.
Guarantee?
Not yet, but I'll guarantee it. Probably give me about another month.
All right, then we'll get your head shaved if you're wrong. Come on, Cavaliers. And our last one. Which road underdog has a better chance of covering the spread or pulling the outright upset tonight in men's college hoops? Arkansas at number 12, Kentucky, or UNC at Duke? By the way, the UNC Duke game's on ESPN before the Arkansas-Kentucky game. Who's got the better chance of covering, pulling the outright upset? We were going to try to get Scott Williams on the show today. We couldn't. Former UNC standout, NBA champ who does a lot of TV work. We'll get him on another week in the future. Also get Andrew Jones on. What do you think?
Neither underdog is going to win, but I would say the best chance, at least a best chance of winning, would be Carolina. And I'm going to say covering the spread also, but I don't see Arkansas or Carolina winning outright today.
You don't? Okay. So you're going to go Carolina best chance. I'm going to shock you and say I think Arkansas has the best chance of covering the spread. I think Cal will have his guys ready and lose in agonizing fashion. I don't think UNC will win this one, but I do think UNC in the finale in Chapel Hill might knock off Duke then. I don't think Duke runs the table in the ACC. I don't. No. That's going to conclude this week's episode. We thank you all for tuning in. For the coach, Ed Young, and our guests, our interview guests, such as Tim Sparks, Travis Johnson, LaVar, Griffin, Garrett Ross, plus Jay Grimes of the Denbigh Patriots. We thank you for all tuning in and interacting with us, and we'll do it again next week on the eve of the Super Bowl. On Super Saturday, not Super Sunday, on CoVA Sports TV. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. We'll see you next time.